Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
The 53rd Annual March for Life took place on Friday, January 23, 2026. In Washington, D.C., the theme this year was Life is a Gift. Tens of thousands of participants gathered on the National Mall despite the cold to advocate for the protection of the unborn. Bringing together thousands of pilgrims from across the country, the event served as both a prayerful protest and a joyful witness to the dignity of the human person from conception to natural death. The spiritual heart of the march began at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, where the National Prayer Vigil for Life provided a sanctuary of intercession for the unborn. The opening vigil Holy Mass took place on January 22nd. The vigil liturgy was celebrated by Bishop James Conley of Lincoln. His homily emphasized the gift of life as a reflection of God's love. Following the Mass, Bishop James Ruggieri of Portland presided over a holy hour for life in the Crypt Church, accompanied by a Byzantine Rite night prayer led by Bishop Kurt Burnett. Seminarians from across the United States led pilgrims in overnight holy hours, maintaining a continuous chain of prayer until morning. The vigil concluded with a morning Mass celebrated by Cardinal Sean O'Malley, Archbishop Emeritus of Boston, who encouraged the faithful to persevere in building a culture of life. Life Fest also took place in the morning of the march at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center. It was a high-energy rally for the soul. Co-sponsored by the Sisters of Life and the Knights of Columbus, the event focused on healing, inspiration, and the joy of the gospel. The morning featured a massive Holy Mass and a Eucharistic procession that moved through the thousands of young people in attendance. Renowned pro-life advocate Lila Rose gave a powerful witness, while the Sisters of Life's band, All the Living, and Damascus Worship provided music that set a spirit of praise. Following the morning liturgies, the main rally took place on the National Mall. Georgetown University Right to Life students had the honor of carrying the banner at the front of the march. The route proceeded from the National Mall, past the U.S. Capitol, and concluded before the Supreme Court, symbolizing the ongoing legal and cultural journey to make abortion unthinkable. There was a jubilant atmosphere with music enlivening the crowds. Many young people came on buses with their schools and colleges. The rally focused on both the achievements since the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the new political challenges facing the pro-life cause in a milestone year, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The Vice President J.D. Vance delivered the keynote address in person. He shared the news that he and his wife Usha are expecting their fourth child, a son, this July. Vance directly addressed frustrations within the movement regarding the pace of political progress. He acknowledged the misgivings some activists feel concerning federal policy, while urging the crowd to take heart in how far we've come. He highlighted the administration's expansion of the Mexico City policy and celebrated the end of what he called the tyranny of judicial rule. This government policy blocks federal funding for non-governmental organizations, providing abortion counseling or referrals, advocating to decriminalize abortion, or expanding abortion services. President Trump addressed the crowd through a pre-recorded video message. He thanked the marchers for standing in the cold and reflected on the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding, connecting the right to life in the Declaration of Independence to the modern movement. He highlighted his administration's appointment of conservative judges as a primary victory for the cause. One of the most emotional moments came from Sarah Herm, a Catholic single mother of 4. Herm shared her story of starting a chemical abortion and successfully reversing it. She called her son living proof that reversal works, and urged the audience to be the person that connects a woman to hope through small acts of service. The government Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, spoke to the marchers, emphasizing the House's commitment to passing legislation that protects innocent life. Republican Chris Smith, a staple of the March for Life and long-serving congressman, spoke on the international scale of the movement and his continued work to restrict federal funding for abortion. In her first year as president of the March for Life, Jenny Bradley Lichter framed 2026 as a critical moment. She emphasized that while many states have advanced life-protecting laws, the work of transforming the culture remains the movement's primary hurdle. The event concluded with the traditional march up Constitution Avenue toward the Supreme Court. Pope Leo XIV sent a message of support and his apostolic blessing to the thousands gathered in Washington for the 2026 March for Life. Here is the full text message of the Pope. To the participants in the 2026 March for Life, I send warm greetings to those of you participating in the 2026 March for Life. I likewise express heartfelt appreciation and assure you of my spiritual closeness as you gather for this eloquent public witness to affirm that the protection of the right to life constitutes the indispensable foundation of every other human right. Indeed, a society is healthy and truly progresses only when it safeguards the sanctity of human life and works actively to promote it. In this regard, I would encourage you, especially the young people, to continue striving to ensure that life is respected in all of its stages through appropriate efforts at every level of society, including dialogue with civil and political leaders. May Jesus, who promised to be with us always, accompany you today as you courageously and peacefully march on behalf of unborn children. By advocating for them, please know that you are fulfilling the Lord's command to serve Him in the least of our brothers and sisters. With these sentiments, I entrust all of you, as well as those who support you with their prayers and sacrifices, to the intercession of Mary Immaculate, patroness of the United States of America, and I gladly impart my apostolic blessing as a pledge of abundant heavenly graces," concluded the Pope's statement. Before he became Pope, Robert Prevost, in college, helped start a pro-life group at Villanova University.
Please subscribe to our channel.
A first-class relic of St. Thomas the Apostle and the key to the tabernacle were among objects stolen during a break-and-enter at Toronto's St. Thomas Syro-Malabar Catholic Church in Ontario, Canada, on January 14th. The Syro-Malabar Catholic Eparchy wrote, "The perpetrators appeared to specifically target religious and sacred items, indicating a deliberate and intentional act that may constitute a hate-motivated crime rather than a random break-in. The intruders also ransacked parish offices, including the pastor's office, other offices of departments and associations in the church basement, causing extensive damage to doors, windows, office records, electronic equipment, and computers." Father Baiju Chakri, pastor of the church, told the Catholic Register that a religious nun who sets up the morning mass arrived at 7:50 a.m. to discover a state of disorder. She noticed that the relic of St. Thomas the Apostle that was kept beside the altar was not there, said Chakri. Then she looked around and noticed the sacristy was open and all the cupboards and drawers. Then she came running to the parish office and saw it was broken into. All the drawers were open and documents were all over the floor. The nun contacted Chakri and associate pastor Father Chirusuril. Both priests informed the parish trustees, who placed the 911 call to the police. Toronto police are investigating the break-and-enter. Officers do not have any suspect information for the public and have not confirmed the motive behind the theft. The priest urges anybody with knowledge about the stolen items, especially the St. Thomas relic, to do the right thing and step forward. The relic of St. Thomas the Apostle is invaluable to us because it is a first-class relic that we received from Italy, said Chakri. It has great emotional value to the people here. It matters for our faith. If somebody is aware, or if someone finds the relic, it will be great of them to return it to us. In response to this sacred space being violated, the parish will upgrade security measures. An alarm system is being installed to complement the CCTV camera. Windows, especially, will be fortified.
Please subscribe to our channel.
Pope Leo XIV has accepted the early resignation of a bishop. Bishop Pascalis Bruno Syukur of Bogor, Indonesia, has resigned following a period of intense scrutiny and allegations of mismanagement. The 63-year-old prelate, who gained international attention last year for declining an appointment as a cardinal, announced his departure to the Diocesan Curial Council on January 19th. The Pope has formally accepted his resignation and appointed Bishop Christoforos Tri Harsono of Purwokerto as the apostolic administrator to oversee the diocese until a permanent successor is named. The bishop traveled to the Vatican in early January to explain his case to Pope Leo personally. However, this was apparently rejected by the pontiff himself. According to UCAN News, the resignation follows a formal Vatican investigation led by Bishop Antonius Subianto Bunyamin, president of the Indonesian Bishops' Conference. The probe was triggered by serious allegations brought forward by clergy within the diocese. In December, two prominent priests, Father Josep Cyrillus Netet and Father Joseph Christinus Guntur, published an article accusing Bishop Syukur of several leadership failures, including authoritarianism, accusations of abuse of power, and a lack of synodality. Financial mismanagement, allegations regarding the use of diocesan funds, and a potential financial crisis. Controversial hospital takeover, the transfer of a hospital from the Franciscan Sisters of Sukabumi to lay management, which critics characterized as an expulsion of the religious order. Personal conduct, allegations that inappropriate personal relationships were influencing diocesan policy. Bishop Syukur has characterized his resignation as an act of moral responsibility rather than an admission of guilt. He maintained that his decisions were made out of love for the Church and a desire to maintain unity. "I resigned not because I was guilty, but because I love the brotherhood and unity of the Church, especially in the Diocese of Bogor," Syukur stated, adding that he leaves with a freedom of heart. Addressing specific charges, the bishop argued, hospital reorganization. He claimed the move was intended to create a healthier mission and was not an attack on the sisters. Financial integrity. He dismissed claims of bankruptcy for personal use of funds as baseless. Handling of abuse. He asserted that he properly handled past cases of abuse, ensuring perpetrators were imprisoned, and noted that false accusations had previously influenced his decision to decline the cardinalate. A member of the Order of Friars Minor, Franciscan, Bishop Syukur served as the Franciscan Provincial of Indonesia twice before being appointed Bishop of Bogor in 2013. He also held the role of Secretary General for the Indonesian Bishops' Conference from 2021 to 2025, while Pope Francis named him a cardinal in October 2024. Syukur requested not to be created a cardinal, citing a desire for further priestly growth, though current reports suggest the looming investigation may have played a significant role in that decision. Please pray for all those involved in this situation.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Catholic News World's channel. God bless.